we should become more in synchrony with divine loftiness. And that is something that is always an option for me and always an option for you, to rise out of what we have been in so that we don't adulterate in our relationship with this whole system that actually we are part of. We don't adulterate it. And the Prophet Muhammad was told in no uncertain terms that he was sent with the truth. That he was sent with what is absolutely correct, with what is absolutely right. That what is reality, that if you practice that reality, and you practice what is right, and you practice what is correct, it has a positive effect and impact, not only yourself, it will have a positive and elevating impact on those around you and beyond you. And that's what the Qur'an told him. Inna arsalnaka bil haqq. We sent you with the truth. And as I told you last week, you can look at life and say everything is the truth. You and I have a constant battle at all levels of our lives, and that is to separate truth from falsehood. And that is to follow the truth and to avoid the falsehood. In fact, our world has become so sophisticated that when you read the newspapers, that when you listen to the radio, or you look at the television, or you meet people and you talk to people, there's always a challenge. Because we live in a world where almost everybody is advertising. If you're a student of journalism, whether written journalism or oral journalism or visible journalism, very often we hear the slogan, this news is made and prepared in the newsroom. This news is made and prepared in the newsroom. It means every agency of society of importance has a projection that it wants to be made outside there. And the viewers will have to, that's their responsibility, they will have to either read between the lines, they will have to do their homework. Otherwise, it's quite possible that everything you hear, you may want to believe. Everything you see, you may want to believe. Right? And that's the constant problem. That's the constant challenge. Because if we know for sure about one thing, we know there's a lot of falsehood in our world. There are lots of things that are not really true, that are not really of substance. The question we need to always ask ourselves, how much of what we are part of is in synchrony with reality? Is in synchrony with the truth? Is in synchrony with what's right, with what's correct? Is there any falsehood that we are part of? Is there any falsehood that we have adopted, we have accepted, that we are supporting? And this continues to be the challenge of every generation. And the Prophet was reminded, Inna arsalnaka bil haqq. O Prophet, we sent you with the truth, with the reality. The Qur'an is the truth. The Qur'an is the book of reality. The Qur'an is the book of correctness. This bahir bil haqq, makes it that truth is inseparable from this book. This ba, we call it ba'ul insaq bil Arabiya. It's the ba that does not allow separation. Inna arsalnaka bil haqq. That what we sent you with is firmly attached to the truth. It not only came from God, who is absolutely the standard of all that is right, who is the absolute reality, but whatever this book contains is a book that if you and I were to really commit ourselves honestly to it, it would lead us to what is real, what is realistic, what is pragmatic, what is possible, what is correct, what is right, and what is not false. So the Qur'an tells us, because we have a challenge. We have been people who have hailed from different families and different communities and different regions and different ethnicity and different backgrounds. And we have grown up over the years, and we have either remained in our own environment or we have migrated to other environments. The Qur'an wants you and I to re-evaluate whether we are relating with al-haq or somehow we get caught in al-batil. So the Qur'an told the community, naturally, because the community of the Prophet, as I told you, was like any other community. And you will find this challenge, and we will find this challenge in the 21st century right before our own eyes. We were brought up with a tradition. We were brought up with a perception. And we assume that that tradition and that perception is from the Book of God. That's what we were told. But if someone comes with the Book of God, with the evidence, and puts it before us and say, look, this is what the Book of God actually contains, you will find it's not unlikely for us to react in the same way as the people in the time of the Prophet reacted. And I will show you how they reacted. It says in chapter 2:120, وَلَن تَرْضَى عَنْكَ الْيَهُودُ وَلَن نَصَارَى حَتَّى تَتَّبِعَ مِلَّتَهُمْ. There are many groups in every age, in every society, that tells the world, you are not guided unless you become like us. And I told you the examples of the Yahud and Nasara are very pertinent here. Because Yahud is not a tribal community. Yahud represents the people who originally were from the community of Moses, and who claim that they are standing on the foundations of guidance. هذا يهود, Yahud. Nasara cannot be translated as Christians. That's a common cliche. Because there were no Christians in the time of Isa. It really meant those people who profess they were following Isa and they were really his helpers. So you had two distinguished people who felt that their relationship in life was with divine loftiness, as we generally in this community call Muslims feel. And they feel that you are nobody unless you follow us. وَلَن تَرْضَى عَنْكَ الْيَهُودُ وَلَا النَّصَارَى حَتَّى تَتَّبِعَ مِلَّتَهُمْ. قُلْ, say to them,